Welcome to Gaming with MJ and Blue.
Let's talk gaming. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a podcast all about gaming and sometimes other things. If we segue too badly, we talk weekly news on Minecraft as well as the continuing production of Hytale, which is interesting to us. But that is not all. We sometimes include all kinds of other things like past and present, maybe some legacy stuff, maybe some nostalgia. We do also talk about console, phone games, PCs, whatever there is to be talked about, we do it. So let's get into it. We always start with what we've been doing for the last week. So I will go ahead and start that. Uh, First off, I was thinking, can you believe we are 12 weeks old?
So old.
This is our 12th episode. Can you believe
That's
it?
pretty cool. Yeah.
That is cool. All right. Well, say hello to all the people out there because there
Hello,
are
people.
people. How about that? According to our stats, there's people. So that's awesome. Um, Nobody emails us, so I feel a little lonely, but that's okay. So
Not a lot of
what
comments either.
there are a
Comments on
couple,
our stuff.
but not a lot. So what have I been doing this week? Well, I kickstarted something. I backed anyway. I backed something, and it's kind of this cool dice roller. I'm always like very interested in random numbers. Random numbers fascinate me, and the generation of random numbers. For example, did you know that it's impossible for a computer to generate a truly random number? It cannot do it.
Hmm.
But it tries to simulate it. They call it a pseudo-random number because it tries to throw things together that are sort of random, and then it will come up with a result. So it takes a seed value, and then it can generate a number of random atoms based on that seed value. That's why you get things like in Minecraft, you have seeds, right? You start with a
Mhm.
seed, and then if you start a random number generator with a seed, then you'll get a very specific set of numbers after it, and those will always be the same. As long as you put that seed in, those random numbers will always be the same. So that's why they call it a pseudo-random number generator for technical reasons. But most people just say, well, it generates random numbers, but they're not really random. So I'm always interested in that kind of thing because that's how tabletops are played. That's how board games when we were little we used to play. So a couple of dice, right? Monopoly, you got some dice, those kind of things. But the random numbers and the mathematics of it has always interested me. For example, did you know that if you had 1,000 six-sided dice and you threw them out and said and added them all up, do you know what it would add up to?
Mm-mm.
It's almost perfectly predictable as to what it will add up to.
Really?
Yes, because if you think about it, you have 1,000 dice, right? And so all of them could land on one. And so if you add it all up, it would be 1,000, right? Or it could land up on six, right? All of them could land on six, but that would be 6,000 if you added them all up. So the answer is going to be between 1,000 and 6,000. But
Hmm.
what are the chances that you throw 1,000 dice out and all of them are going to land on one? That
Guessing
that would
highly
never
unlikely.
happen. That would never happen, right? Like, functionally, that would never happen, right? And the six,
Mhm.
same thing with the six, right? So where will it go? It'll always be, or very close to, about 3,650, something like that. There's actually a number. I can't remember what it is, but it's somewhere like right in there, like 3,350. Like it'll almost always be very close to that number,
Hmm.
and that's because of how that randomness kind of works itself out because you have so many variables. So it's kind of those kind of things just fascinate me, right? So that's the
Yeah.
reason that when people play things like they play games like tabletop games, like for example Dungeons and Dragons. They generate their characters, right, with certain abilities, and so they'll always use a three dice system, right? So they throw out three six-sided dice, and the reason for that is because they want it to land somewhere between like 8 and 12, and you're very highly likely to get between 8 and 12. So that way you've got a pretty average character, and that's what they want. You will extremely rarely get 18. every 666. You'll very rarely get that. You'll also very rarely get 3, right? That would be a really weak person.
Hmm.
So what they want is they want you to get between 3 and like 12. So that's the reason they put 3 dice together, and you roll that to get your character attributes. And other games like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder and other types of tabletop games are this very similar. Anyway, what I backed was I bought this. What it is, it's a card, but it folds up. It's a metal, and it has all the dice on it, but it's in the form of like you roll a little knob and it will randomly land on a number. And so you have like a D4, a D6, a D10, a D8. You've got all the different dice lined up there. And so you just sit there and you roll them, and you can roll whatever dice you like. So if you want a number between 1 and 4, you roll the 1d4, and it will spin and stop on 1, 2, 3, or 4. Same with the 6 and the 8 and the 12 and the 10 and whatever else, and a 20. I think it goes up to 20. But anyway, I bought that, and so it folds up into this. It's made to be this card, but it folds up into this tiny little, almost like it fit on a keychain. So I thought that's just kind of cool. I kind of like it. You don't lose dice, So if you're playing on an airplane, right, and you're sitting there throwing dice on the table to try to play a game or something, you're gonna lose your dice, right? You're gonna fall on the floor. You're gonna be like, "Excuse me, excuse me." If you use things like that, you don't lose your dice, right? So it's much
Okay.
easier to handle, right? Any
Interesting.
case, I kickstarted that. It's called a cardihedron. So if you look on Kickstarter for cardihedron, CARDYHEDRON, it's cardihedron fold. So it folds up. The Kickstarter's already gone, so you can't get on the
Mhm.
Kickstarter, but you could probably purchase something. You might get into the second run, because they did like 4,000% over their asking price, so they
Hmm.
got plenty of funding, right? Plus, I know both of us this last week have been in 3D printing, been 3D printing our little hearts out, right?
Yep.
At work, I've been working on a GitHub project, and that's about it. So, what have you been up to?
I am currently distracted looking at this Kickstarter. It's actually it looks actually pretty cool. It's a different way of rolling dice, that's for sure.
Right, you can get it in a form where they're all d6s too. Instead of having multiple dice, if you just
Yeah.
want to do d6s, you can get one that's all d6s, and
Huh.
which is more what people think of when they think of dice. But
Oh, that's pretty cool actually. I like that. No, I
I
mean
had
anything related to board gaming is usually going to be pretty interesting because the cleverness that comes with creating board games is amazing, and dice is just the basic thing that has existed forever with board games. So
right, right.
when anybody can actually add on to that idea with something new and unique that still
Hmm.
serves the same function but maybe a little bit convenient on the go, I mean that's pretty cool. I like it.
Have you ever seen a board game that used a deck of cards
I
to
well,
provide
yeah, pretty much.
randomness?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I guess. What do you mean by providing randomness?
I've played games where, like, if you come up with a certain color,
Hmm.
so there's a 1 in 4 chance, you're going to get red or blue or whatever. So
Right, right.
it's like spinning. It's like a one d4. So
Okay.
it's like you pull a card, and when you pull the card, you got a spam call.
Oh.
Um, if you pull a random card, it's going to be either black or red, right? So
Hmm.
that's like a coin toss, right? Black or red.
Hmm.
But if you want a number between 1 and like 13, well, you've got the suit of cards, right? So
Hmm.
you could come up with an ace or a 3 or a 5 or whatever. So some games are based on that. Like if you drew a 3 of clubs, then follow this, go to this table and look up what happens here, in this
Hmm.
result. So it uses a deck of cards to give you your randomness. So I'm
Okay.
just fascinated with all kinds of stuff like that, like how you get your randomness.
Hmm. I like it.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I liked what you brought up. I thought it was pretty cool. It got me looking at it. Let's see here. So, Did you cover everything you wanted to, MJ, with as
Yeah,
far as
I got
everything?
everything.
Okay. All right. So for me this week, I did do some gaming. My focus was playing some Minecraft, honestly. So me and my wife, Vunder, as she goes by in the gaming world, we decided to try to do a little bit something different with the Minecraft world. So we're doing a little kind of like a personal challenge world. So it's like hardcore, only not as difficult. We don't play enough to get so good that we don't occasionally die, just from our own ways of doing things. So we created a world that basically we have a limited amount of lives. So we have we have every time we die we lose a heart, and then once all of our hearts are gone, then that's when we officially can't join the world again. So a lot of people have done this before. It's a fairly popular way of playing a pseudo hardcore mode in Minecraft.
Hmm.
um, and it's actually kind of fun, especially for those of us that are not extremely good at the game and can avoid dying for thousands of in-game Minecraft days. Uh, but yeah, so we just started a world, and we're just a little personal world. We're just messing around with it. Vunder is more of the explorer of the two of us, which is fine. She's finding a lot of really cool stuff, and I've been kind of focused more on trying to create our base of operations. So we kind of found a cool little area. A little, it's like near a one of the cherry blossom forests,
Hmm.
so it's kind of in that area. There's like this. It's up in a mountain, not a mountain, but like a high peak area. And then there's like this kind of like enclave kind of thing that I'm hollowing out. And the idea is I want to build our base kind of in this enclave. I'm not saying the right word. Um, and that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm working on it. Maybe if we get a decent distance into this and it actually starts looking like something, I'll take some screenshots and maybe share it.
I was gonna say
For
I want to see a picture.
Yeah, I'll try to do that. But
Or
anyway, yeah.
maybe
So we what's
maybe
that?
for our Patreon subscribers, they could enjoy that
Mm,
picture too.
perhaps that could be an option. I don't know. We still need to iron some details out with that. Uh, but we uh, we were trying a couple different mods too. We found a data pack that gives you classes and kind of like not professions but skills. So for me, I picked one that is kind of cool because I'm basically a part of a race of skyfolk, if you can put it that way. Um, so what that means is I have the ability to float. Um, so I can jump, and if I hold down the jump key for a few seconds, I'll start to fly. It's not fast, but I can fly, and I can kind of direct my area. And then if I let go after a couple more seconds, it'll turn off and I'll drop. But I also have a 30 block fall distance before I get any damage. Um, so
Hmm.
it's kind of pretty good. It did say though, if you exceed those 30 blocks, you do double damage. So
Oh, ouch! Yeah,
yeah, you got to be careful about how
it
far you
expires
drop
fast.
it. Yeah, pretty much. And Vunder picked an ability. She's a part of like the Turtle Club. I don't know. That's not the right word. Um, but she basically gets increased water breathing. So whereas you lose your water breathing really quick, it would take her I think about 15 minutes to lose all of her bubbles from breathing
Wow.
underwater. So it was kind of a cool side effect. Uh, this
So it
one
kind
was
of fully
called
kits you out on one particular option, is what it does.
exactly. It's like you've become a part of a specific race of people. It's
Hmm.
called something roots. Let me see quick. Let me just
Yeah, I was
pull it
gonna
up because I
say, tell me the name of this mod.
it is, and it's a data
Maybe
pack
I'll
too, so it does
maybe I'll play
both.
with it.
It's just kind of fun to play around with, you know. I don't know if it's still. I feel like it's still early on. Like they had it in the last Minecraft update, but or a version, but I can't say that it's. I feel
It's
like it's
probably
still
not
got some
not the
issues.
latest. Yeah,
Yeah.
big
Okay,
data packs
so
like that usually are lag behind a few versions.
it might, yeah. This one's called Fabled Roots.
Fabled Roots.
Fabled
I
Roots.
think I have heard of that. Yeah, that rings a bell.
It's kind of cool. I like it. But yeah, so that's what that's like one of the main ones that we're playing around with, just trying something different. I know Vunder likes it. I like it too. It's been kind of fun to
Wow.
play around with it. But there's a lot of them, like a
Cool.
lot of different versions. And I think if I understood the descriptions in the little description of the data pack slash mod, if you have somebody with you that is the same class or race that you are, you get bonuses. So whatever,
Hmm.
I don't know exactly what that means. I haven't really looked that much into it because me and Vunder are trying two different races. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of cool. So that's what I've been doing this week with gaming, just playing some Minecraft. Just a fun game that I
Hey, it looks cool.
never stop to go back to. It seems like.
10 races and 10 classes. So
hmm
it's basically 10 times 10 as
Yeah,
far as, I guess,
options.
options. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So that was
cool.
fun. Yeah, I like it. Anyway,
Yeah, that's cool. Consider it downloaded.
nah, trying
Play
it
with it
out.
later, maybe. All right. Next segment is the news. We're going to skip our guest segment because we don't have a guest. But in the news, we're going to go ahead and talk about Minecraft first.
Mhm.
So there has been some updates with Minecraft as far as the experimental versions, the 26.2 snapshot. And so there's like lots of little things that they've been doing, like, that new sulfur cave biome, right? They've been
Yep.
kind of playing with that. Uh, there's apparently that big sulfur cube thing. So they've been kind
hmm
of playing with that, I guess, working out some of the details. Probably lots of bugs with it, I would think. But
yeah.
the physics behaviors need to work out, with all that crazy physics that they're doing with it, right? All the little, things that you make it sticky, you make it bouncy, you make it slide, that kind of stuff. You got to work on all that. So I imagine they've been, working on that quite a bit. They've also been working on the new blocks, cinnabar and sulfur stone. So you've got to make those, the slabs, the stairs, the wall, the chiseled variants, the bricks, all that stuff, polished
Mhm.
versions of it, as well as the actual biome itself. They've been playing with that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't taken a look at it yet personally. Have you looked at it yet?
No, I haven't jumped into. I honestly, I've
Okay.
never really jumped into a snapshot before. I don't know why. I'm just like if I'm going to play, I'm just going to play in my regular world, I guess. But who knows? Maybe doing in a podcast like this, maybe I should try to do that once in a while, just for a little more personal experience.
I don't do it very much because I don't like running into the bugs because
Oh yeah, yeah.
you run along or something and then suddenly it just completely shuts down.
hmm
And in some cases, you lose your save game.
Oh, okay, I
Rarely,
gotcha.
rarely it happens, but I
But
think I've
that
lost
would be
my
bad.
game twice, I think, in my lifetime. So it doesn't happen a lot. But of course, they've got with any kind of new version like that, they always kind of update your video drivers, your graphics API. So they've got so much work to do. But they've also
Mhm.
added some Vulkan support, which that's very good to see because that's more of your Mac OS and Linux and things
Hmm,
like that. So it's good to see.
cool.
There's even some stuff about Z fighting, which I already talked about.
You have talked about that, yeah.
Some new entity attributes. Knockback resistance has been lowered. Beds and slime box have been tweaked to have their bounce behavior a little different.
Mm.
So I wonder what that does with the bed. Because the bed's bouncy, right? Have you ever tried
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I don't see anything horribly interesting other than that. So let's go ahead and go to Hytale if you like.
Sure, sounds good. That and Uh, Hytale is just got another pre-release patch note, so this is for update 5, and this was on April. Wait a minute, do I have the right one? Oh wait, no, here it is. April 9th. Sorry, yeah, April 9th, 2026. So just yesterday. Pre-release update 5, part 3. We just see a few different things. They're improving like item description, putting those properly in the game, as well as light leather, medium leather, heavy leather. Uh, man, there's always so much with with Hytale. There's some generation things. So bamboo, Farron, and Lost Civilization bookshelves can be stacked on top of each other now. So I guess that was an issue. I never noticed that, but that's good to know. Rope blocks can be placed vertically and can now be extended by placing additional rope blocks above or below. It sounds like a function that would be important if you're doing anything with ropes. Let's see here. What else do we have? Just a bunch of different things. Some UI work, some audio work. Let's see here. They had some bug fixes, which is always important. Uh, Healing totems have been placed. Well, that have been placed will now heal 5 health per second for 10 seconds. I haven't even run into these things before. Healing totems, so
I've never
that's
run into that.
interesting. Yeah. Let's see here.
Man, I'm still trying to find adamantite. I mean,
That could be when we do have to eventually update the world. Might be able to find that stuff.
yeah, I've got like 3 or 4.
Hmm. And yeah, it's just a bunch of little quality of life fixes, different things like that. Nothing too extreme right now. They're still working on things, um, but there's always a bunch of stuff in the pipeline. So we look forward to seeing what comes up next. So that is basically some of the latest with Hytale.
Okay, well, let's move on to the tidbit of the week.
All
I had
right.
several of them, so feel free to comment on any of them if you'd like, but I'll go ahead and just talk about them. And this one, I'm kind of getting some different information on.
Okay.
YouTube has increased their prices. So if
Mm.
you're a premium subscriber, your price is going up. It's, you know, we have to get you at the pump as well as, while you're paying for your entertainment. And the thing is I'm getting different prices. If I go to different places, I get different results. So
Mhm.
personally, I use the family plan because me and
Mhm.
my wife use it a lot. So we get the premium family plan, and so we pay $29 for that currently. And what I'm
Mm.
seeing is that some people, I guess, pay less, and then
Mhm.
they're getting a price jump, and their price jump is moving them up to 29. And I'm like, I'm already at 29.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've been told by YouTube that my price is going up to $34.99.
Hmm.
So I don't know what to believe. I assume
Yeah.
I'm going to believe the YouTube email that I got, which was that your price is going up to $34.99, which that's horrible. I may have to
Yeah.
rethink. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to rethink that possibly. But for now, I guess, that's the price of taking ads away.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why we haven't done it. It's like that price is just a bit too high for a subscription for us. Just for
Depends on
one
what you do.
thing. But
If a
yeah.
person watches TVs and shows all the time, well, then get your Hulu and get your Netflix and get your, Apple TV and
Hmm.
Amazon, or, get all that stuff. And then that's your priority. If you want to spend your entertainment on that. For us, we're online a lot, so we use
Yeah.
YouTube a lot.
Hmm.
So that's just where it fits for us, I guess.
Hmm.
But uh, the next article I've ran into is, "Are you good at games? Well, then maybe you have a job." The FAA would like to talk to you because they
Okay.
now have you can become an air traffic controller.
Hmm.
And at first I was laughing at this, but then I started thinking about it. The thing with gamers these days, especially your younger ones, um, the games are extremely busy. That's one thing I noticed. Like you'll have these things. They have a new genre of games now called bullet hell. I don't know if you've ever seen it, where
Mm-mm.
bullets are flying all over the place, all over your game, even from you. You've got this gun that just shoots in all directions and it kills things. And so that's the point of the game. So instead of you and I back in our day doing platformers, jumping up on platforms, these have got like hordes of people or monsters headed toward them, and so they use this gun that shoots bullets everywhere or whatever it is. Maybe it's some kind of ability you have, and you you emanate like something. I don't know, but they call it bullet hell now because it's like
Hmm.
a you just throw out nothing but these sprites. In game development we call them sprites, right? But there are all these little sprites that you throw out that interact with things. So, in any case, your screen is always very busy, right? You're handling multiple things. And so it started to click with me that, oh, so they're trying to key off that and say, maybe you'd be good at air traffic control because you can handle many things going on at once. And
Hmm.
of course, I don't know if I guess I have to think about it a while, but are you gonna trust your person that's been trained on games to be able to guide your airplane in?
Yeah, I don't know if I trust
Do you
that.
do you get it? Do you get the correlation?
Uh, I get it. I don't know how I feel about that. I will say
I
this.
did that too.
Yeah, you know what it reminded me of in VR, the game, which is very popular, Beat Saber. So
Yeah,
it just kind of made me think of that because you are very much reacting to things coming at you very fast.
right.
So that's that. But to me, that's all reaction speed. Like that's your brain not really being able to
Well,
think; it's just reacting.
aren't you also, I don't play it much, but aren't you also looking 5 steps ahead? Like 2 or 3
Ye-
steps, 5 steps ahead?
yes, yeah, but again, it feels like with something like air traffic control, it's more than just being able to react. You have to understand what you're seeing, otherwise accidents will happen. Um, Reaction is good in certain circumstances, but I don't think it's good for someone who has to completely reason on scenarios that are life threatening like that. Um,
Mhm.
I could be off base there, but that's just immediately what my mind went to is like, I don't know if reaction equals good at a job like that. But
Maybe it's not reaction.
yeah,
Maybe it's more like spatial awareness.
okay, all
Call
right,
it that.
okay,
Are you very spatially aware? In other words,
yeah,
this plane is moving at this direction at this speed. This other
hmm
plane is moving at this other direction at this other speed, and they will cross paths, but
hmm
will they be out of each other's way by then?
okay,
Maybe you're good at calculating that in your head
okay,
just
yeah,
because looking at it, you can see that this one's slower than that one. It's not going to cross. They're not going to hit
hmm
each other. They'll cross but not hit each other. So you've seen that, on so many games that it's natural. It's a natural talent you have now.
okay,
I
yeah.
don't know.
So maybe that is putting it in a different light than I was thinking of it, and I guess that could make sense. So yeah, okay.
That's after thinking about it a lot.
All right.
That's the only thing I could come up with. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know if I get this. But okay, whatever. You know, I guess where you get your, where you do your recruiting is where you do your recruiting, I guess. So, are you familiar with Amazon Luna?
I when you wrote this down, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, that sounds familiar, but I couldn't put a finger on why it sounded
They're sort
familiar.
of married to Twitch.
Okay.
You know how Twitch used to give you games all the time,
Hmm.
like free games. That they every week you get a free game. You just have to click on the
Hmm.
little thing and get a free game. Especially if you have like Turbo. I have Turbo, so um, I always get like free stuff that they're giving you. Amazon's giving you free stuff. Most of it's garbage, garbage games that you'd probably never buy, right? No one's ever buying, or not many people are anyway. But in any case, they switched to a different thing that they're doing. Instead of giving away games, using like the Amazon, you used to download a thing from Amazon and then you could get their free games. Now it's a service called Luna. And so that it's been like that for probably, I can't remember. I think it's less than a year. less than a year, they switched over to this new service called Luna. And the thing with Luna is apparently they're changing. And now
Mm.
Amazon's going to say, we're going to drop Luna, right? And all the things that you bought, you better go download them because you're going to lose access to it. So that's kind of, I can't even remember if I bought anything, honestly, or would I care if I lost it. So anyway, I guess it's something kind of newsworthy. Like if you did that a lot, if you purchased a lot of those games or you got a lot of games free, well, then
Mm-hmm.
they're going to disappear if you don't grab them.
Mm.
So it might be something worth looking at. Anyway, it's a PC Magazine article, and it was called Amazon Bails on Luna, the gaming
Mm.
service.
So if
So
you're listening and you're a Luna person, you might want to
might want to go
take a
look
look
at the
at
news,
this. Yeah.
see what you're losing exactly.
Yeah, if you haven't been up to date on it, that's good to know. Thanks for bringing that to the audience's eyes there, MJ.
You're welcome. Now, last item I got is until April 13th. All PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 5 Pro users can go grab Lazy Bear Games and Tiny Build's Graveyard Keeper for free on the PlayStation Store.
Nice.
You got 2 days.
Okay. Well, hopefully, if
I've never
you're
played those.
listening, yeah, I don't know what they are. I'd have to
I
look
don't know
them
what
up.
they are.
But hey, you know what? PlayStation's giving it away, and if you're not aware of it and you have a PlayStation,
I think
jump
I
on it.
have heard of Tiny Builds. I've heard of it, but I've never played it. And I don't know what Lazy Bear Games is. Maybe that's a
No idea.
publisher, Lazy Bear Games?
Oh, maybe.
Huh.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
possible.
you better go
Maybe
look.
they have an entire publisher's catalog is for free for the next 2 days.
Maybe.
Mhm.
All
Cool,
right, I'll
cool.
let you start on our tools of the week, the next section. So what did you
All
find
right.
this week?
Sounds good. Thanks for the tidbits, MJ.
You're welcome.
Okay, so as far as tools of the week, I thought I'd bring up a program that I thought is really cool. It's made a lot of waves in the tech community in general, but it is a simple program. You can buy it on Steam. It's called Lossless Scaling. So the premise of what this program does is if you kind of keep up to date with the graphics card situation and all of this DLSS and upscaling and all that, um, these computers or these graphics cards are just being designed to upscale things so your images will look a little bit better. Now, lossless upscaling is something that can be utilized with almost anything. So you don't need to have a super fancy graphics card to run this. And what it'll do is it'll do just as it says. It's going to improve the frame rate of whatever game you have playing. So you don't have to go into any settings in your game to set this up. You just simply open up lossless scaling, you turn it on, and then whatever game is on your screen, it's going to help bring your frame rate up. So this is very useful. And of course, it's not perfect. It's got glitches like every other program in the world. Uh, but in general, if you're having issues with a game, like your computer can almost run it really good, but not quite, throw this on and you might be gaming at a much better refresh rate than you have been previously. So the developer of this has been pumping out updates and all that for a while now. And it is very become pretty popular with a lot of people. I know a few big YouTubers have brought this up and talked about it and showcased it. So it works really well. It'll even upscale retro games. So if you have a retro game that's naturally only runs at 30 FPS because that's the way the game was designed, it can actually upscale it to 60, even though it was never designed to do that. You may not want to do that for various reasons, but you could potentially do that.
Hmm.
I saw recently there's like some retro games have issues. Like there's a Spider-Man game that a guy was on YouTube was showing off, and he was trying to rotate around in the world, and it was just so glitchy, so weird looking. Like it was not anticipating the frame change properly. But anyway, if you're one of those gamers who doesn't have a super strong rig, They're just they're on the verge of being able to run games really well, but not quite. It's a cheap program, and it might actually work out pretty good for you. Do your research on it, look it up, watch some YouTube videos on it. There's a lot of guys out there with that. So that's the tool I thought I would bring up.
$7, not bad. Does it go on
No,
sale ever?
I don't know. I've never looked at it when there was sales, but it's possible. But for $7, I
Oh,
mean, if it's gives you proper benefits, I don't see a big deal with $7.
that's cool. It has a dual GPU support, so most
Hmm.
computers actually have two GPUs, and they don't even know it. Or for example, you'll have your integrated graphics driver that came with
Hmm.
it, and then people add like a third party, and they'll usually, they want to use their added one, right? That's the big one. But often there's an integrated one already there, but it's asleep, right? Because you're using the big one. Maybe you can wake up that little one and put it to use.
There you go. So yeah,
Hmm,
I thought
that's interesting.
it's a cool program. I'm glad I saw something recently on it because it reminded me of it. Because I don't play games, but I have a decent gaming rig right now, so I don't really need it. But I was thinking because I would like to get I think a Steam Deck eventually, or the next iteration of a Steam Deck that they might come out with, and being able to run something like this on it would be really beneficial in my mind.
It says it's unsupported.
I saw there's ways around that, so
Oh,
so there's tricks you can do, but
oh.
yeah,
Well, there is a button here for learning more. It says
learn
unsupported, learn more.
more.
So there's probably like some ways to do it. It says Linux too.
Mhm.
It says it's available on Linux as a community-driven port. Okay, so you have to go somewhere else, but you can get a Linux version of it too. Interesting.
Yeah.
It does require Windows 10 or newer. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
uh, but most people have that or have access to it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
There are
Thought it
some
was kind
cool
of a fun.
tools on Steam that people don't realize. They're just programs
Mhm.
or cool tools or whatever. It's
I
on
You
Steam.
know what? It's very true. I was very surprised because sometimes when I'm looking at things and I'll see a program like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then it says available on Steam. I'm like, this is not a game. Like, why is this available on
Yeah.
like Blender? Just as an example, Blender. It's a
Oh,
3D modeling
Blender,
software. It's on Steam.
Aseprite,
Yeah,
Aseprite. There's
Aspirate. Yeah, yeah,
also Godot, Game
yeah.
Development
Godot.
Engine,
I was surprised to see that one. Like that's
RPG
just
Maker.
crazy.
I mean,
Yep, yep. All
plus you
these things
can
are available.
plus it can play the music from your games too. So it's got a music player in it. So
Mhm.
I mean, Steam is not just for games.
It's got a lot more to it than I think people realize. Definitely more than I realized.
I wondered if you could browse the store and say, "Show me everything but games,"
There's
but I don't know
probably
if there's a way
a
to do
filter
that.
for software. I bet you there's a filter where you can
Category. There's
choose software.
categories, and you can just say
Maybe.
software. I don't know.
It's possible.
I'm not seeing it.
No? You got me
I mean,
curious
it's
now. I'm
got
looking.
every game in the world as far as like
Mm,
all the different types of genres and themes of games, but it doesn't have like tools or like um, you know products like software.
mhm.
Maybe I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. Maybe I have to look a little further. Oh wait, I think it's under more, and you have to go special sections. Oh, view all. Okay, yeah, they've got it hidden. That's the thing. Well, you got to play with it, but you can find it. There is a place to get to it.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yep. Yeah, they don't. I mean, and I'm sure it's just it's not their thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not their normal thing.
It's not what it was
But
built for, but it's capable.
I mean, it's just a software delivery platform ultimately, but
Yeah.
it's mainly game, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was cool. That's a cool product I didn't know about before. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I don't know if it'll
I had
benefit you, but
could benefit somebody.
yeah,
I had two things that I found that were both kind of interesting, and I usually save one, but I'm going to go ahead and do two.
go for it.
One is called, and people probably already know this because I've seen a lot of people a lot of people use it, but it's called Airtable,
Okay.
and that's airtable.com, and it's where people share basically a spreadsheet, right, or a
Hmm.
table. So people just share the data together so that they can both look at it and both alter it. So it's like a quick and easy, free way often. Although I've seen a lot of people that own it, right? You actually purchase it, or somebody purchases it, and you can get multiple people in it, which is very convenient. Maybe people are looking at notes or looking at data, particular research type thing. You and I, we use Notion, but
Right.
there's other needs we might have. So and Notion has a way to put data in it, so that's fine for us. But maybe all you need is a table to share between people, and that's a perfect way to do it. But say you didn't want to share that kind of data. You wanted to share like a document. In that case, you would go to etherpad.org. And etherpad.org is a place where you can both edit the same document. It's very plain text kind of document, but you could both edit it at the same time. So that's a good place where you can do things like if you're having a meeting and you don't want to use the tools that are built into like Teams or um, Zoom, and I can totally see why, because those are junk, right? And really Etherpad has it going on because Etherpad has been around longer for one thing. Airtable, I don't know how long that's been around, but probably something that's more well used than say the whiteboarding on like
Mm.
Zoom or Teams. Personally, I hate Teams, but Zoom I'm kind of getting okay with. But even Zoom's getting that thing where it's kind of doing some bloat, where it's
Oh yeah,
becoming
yeah.
bloatware, where they keep adding things to it. And like you got a little scope creep here, where you're kind of getting out of your scope. You need to get back into video conferencing, and that's it. Okay, stop. But anyway, that's probably for another episode. Like, quit getting out of your scope. Anyway, do you use any of those tools?
I have used Airtable before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Airtable's it's not bad. But the person utilizing that tool really has to work hard to make it um, work well and be understandable to a novice. So in my use cases, a lot of times it was scheduling, among other things, for certain stuff that we were doing. Um, but if you didn't know the program very well and it wasn't customized very well, it could be really difficult to navigate and find what you needed to find to make things work properly. So it is a really good tool, but you got to make sure that if you're using it, you're not the people you're working with also understand how to use it. Otherwise, it starts
Mhm.
to become less useful, which is not really good at all. But
Well,
make it
you are talking
intuitive.
about multiple people getting into a
Yeah,
document and changing it, so you're
yeah.
bound to have some chaos there, right?
There'll be a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I think it just overall it just felt like it needs to be, not that it wasn't when I was using it, but it needs to be very intuitive for people, populace.
Cool. The other interesting website I found this week was it's it's about they're trying to find people that read cursive,
Okay.
and the reason for that is because a lot of old documents are written in cursive, and they're trying to digitize them. So
Mm.
this place, I'll go ahead and give the a website. It is NT, as in new technology. I don't know why I say that. November Tango, November Tango dot Newberry, NEWBERRY.org.
Hmm.
And what you'll find there is they're willing to give you a page to look at, and then you can kind of try to decipher what it's saying. And I know that a lot of younger people probably don't use cursive. I know they quit. It's my understanding they quit teaching it in schools. They don't make you do that anymore.
Yep.
But us old people, we've long since done that. Uh, we were taught that only children use block letters and
Mhm.
printable characters. That if you're an adult, you use cursive, right? So a lot of us older people, we can see cursive and read cursive. I've always found cursive very hard to understand, except my own,
Mhm.
of course. Well, even my own sometimes confusing. But apparently this place wants they want to kind of crowdsource some help to try to figure out what these old documents say. So if that's the kind of thing that you'd like to contribute to, then proceed.
Hmm. You know, I've never been great with cursive. I've done it. I know how to do it vaguely. What's really fun is if you try to learn how to use the fountain pens to write in
Mm-hmm.
cursive. That stylized calligraphy
Yeah.
is it's beautiful. People that can do it well, like it is a beautiful handwritten way of doing things. But you're right, I don't see it used at all anymore. Kids these days, they don't do things like that. They're typing. It's all computers. Yeah.
I find it very hard to read. So, I mean,
I
that's nice that it's fancy
yeah.
and it maybe looks special to
Yeah.
somebody. But I would be looking at that saying, does it say 3 or 5 or 12? Or
Or
is it
E.
a letter? Is it a number? I don't. Is this the restroom? Is it the library? I don't know.
I got you. Yeah. Cool. I find that kind of interesting though, because yeah, cursive. I don't hear much of anything about cursive these days.
I mean, you mentioned fountain pens. I'm a pen nerd. I love fountain pens.
Mm.
But I often do block lettering
Mhm.
with my fountain pen. I don't write in cursive. I very often do not write in cursive, and the reason for that is because a long time ago I chose that I don't like it, even
Mhm.
though it was drilled into our heads and told that we are an adult, we must write in cursive. And that's how you fill out your checks, and that's how you fill out, remember checks. Anyway, so you had to do your signature. You had to make a signature.
Mhm.
That we were taught to do signatures. Stuff like that. So I have always resisted it. I don't
Mhm.
like it. So when I write my notes about anything, I write in block letters. So in fact, very blocky. That's how I keep it neat and orderly so I can read it back. Otherwise, I'm completely lost. Even in my own notebook, I'll be completely lost. But I can read cursive, so I thought, you know what, I might give it a try. Who knows? Anyway, it was just sort of a crowdsourcing thing that kind of caught my eye, and it was kind of interesting, neat. Somebody out there might like cursive, so if you have a talent for reading it, then go help them out.
Cool.
All right, ready for our main topic?
Let's do it.
Streaming. Have you ever
Mm.
streamed? Have you ever done
I
some streaming?
have.
You
Yeah,
have?
I
I have too.
definitely have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have done very little, but I have done some.
Mhm.
What do you like about it?
So
Do you
let
watch
me,
it?
MJ, let me take you back. Let me take you back probably a good 20 years. I'm at
You were
home.
you were in
My cousin,
diapers?
I'm in. No, not no. A little bit older than that. A little bit older than that. So
I just turned 55 and I'm a little bit out of sorts about it maybe, okay? Sorry.
no, you're fine. So, growing up, usually when I was doing gaming at all, it was usually on console, usually PlayStation, because that's what we just did in our area. That's just kind of what we most of my friend base gravitated towards. But one of my favorite things to do,
You didn't have nerdy friends.
uh, not not necessarily, yes and no, but one of
Okay.
my favorite things to do was to watch my cousin play video games, not play them myself, because we loved the story games and he was very good at games. So I just loved watching it because I was so into the stories and I wanted to see the progression. I still loved playing them myself, but I just loved watching it. So when live stream started to pop up, and I'm like, this just reminds me of me watching my cousin play games. I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting. I don't think I really got into it, and I still wouldn't say I'm really super into it until later on. But I think live streaming is a fun way of watching some gameplay. You can jump in and out if you need to. Usually people that are streaming are doing it for hour, 2 hours, sometimes a lot more, depending on what they're doing. So it's kind of fun. You can jump in and out and just kind of see what they're doing, where they're progressing, stuff like that. So, in a general sense, I think it's kind of a fun way of taking in some media of a game, and you don't really have to dedicate a lot of focus to it either. So if you're working on stuff, you can throw it on in the background and it might capture your attention once in a while, and you have to like watch and see what they're doing, and then you can kind of keep just doing what you're doing. So that's kind of been my overall feelings about streaming itself. What about you, MJ, in general? Not you personally streaming, but the streaming
For
platforms.
like watching streams, I love doing it because I will pick a game. Like if I'm looking at a game that I'm
Hmm.
looking at buying, I'm such a penny pincher. I want to see someone play the game. I want to get the
Hmm.
mechanics, get the idea of it. I don't want to watch to see how to solve the puzzles or whatever. I don't care about that. So I don't play a lot of story games for that reason. I play a lot of,
Hmm.
simulation type games. So I may look at them and say, okay, that's a strategy. That's a good strategy. This guy's got a good strategy. Or that's how you play that. Okay, that's what you do when you get that particular weapon or whatever. I'll learn how it works. So that's good to know. And that way, before I spend my money, I
Hmm.
know exactly everything I need to know to play it. So I'm not completely lost when I play it.
Hmm.
So I like it for that reason. I've always liked it for that reason. But it also occurred to me as at first, when I first heard it, I thought that's the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Why in the world would you want to watch someone else play a game? However, you know, I started getting into it because I started
Hmm.
watching. It started first. There were people that would watch other people eat.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a Korean thing. They have a name for it. I can't remember it at the moment. I can't remember what the name of it was, but there's a certain kind of just eating, and it was
Hmm.
it was mainly because the Korean thing is you do that as a social thing as you eat, and a lot of people were just eating at home alone, and it's kind of sad really. But
Mm.
you can sit down, eat, and have your friends or a community
Okay.
around you, and I guess that kind of makes sense that way. And then they started getting into gaming,
Hmm.
and I'm like, interesting, so now you're like playing a game together. But the thing is whenever you were watching your cousin, did you participate?
We would communicate while he played. So yeah, we
Yeah.
would we would like try to work things out a little bit if we were kind of stuck on something.
So you were kind of a backseat player, a little bit. Like, oh,
To a
hey,
de-
that didn't work.
to a
Try this.
degree. Yeah, yeah, to a degree. Now, he was so good at it. I didn't really have to do say much, but I would throw a few
Oh,
things his way.
try putting it on your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Try eating it. Stuff
What do
like
you mean
that.
you can't do that? No.
Right. So, it's got some use to it. Like for me, it's like saving me money because I'm like, I'm not going to buy that. That looks terrible. I'm not going to play that game. I wouldn't enjoy it. It looks nice, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't enjoy it. It's not my thing. I thought it was, but I watched it for a couple of hours and I'm like, nah, I'm done. So watching it, that is
Mhm.
how I feel about it. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
okay. It exists there. I'm fine with it. However, I have noticed a trend. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but there are now more games that are being developed for Twitch, for streaming platforms
Hmm.
like Twitch.
Hmm. You
Um,
mean like as a like they're designing games that can be
to
played
work only
specifically
on
for
stream. Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Marbles on stream. Have you ever played it?
Rivals? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, marbles on stream. Marbles,
Marvel?
marbles. You're
Oh,
playing
I
marbles.
thought you said Marvel, like the
Marbles. Oh
superheroes,
no,
Marvel.
there
Marbles.
are people
Okay.
that play
Alright.
that on stream, of course, but what I'm talking about is marbles on stream. So you get a marble.
Mhm.
Everybody gets a marble. All you have to do is hit exclamation point play in the chat, and it throws a marble out for you. And of course, you've got
Mhm.
a naked marble if you've never played, but you
Mhm.
can use the app that goes along with it and log in with your Twitch account, and you can color your marble, put decorations on your marble. Of course, all that costs, right?
Mhm.
Microtransactions, right?
Yep, yep.
Or what's better is you can win things. And so I've got all kinds of fancy marbles now because I've just sat and watched somebody. And over time, you gain points, right? And you get to spend them wherever you want, or you win something, or they're giving away a marble skin today. So, type slash giveaway and, get your entry in, and whoever wins, they get this marble skin. Occasionally I win those things. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, I got plenty of marble skins now. I got like 20 of them. But, I only use one. You can only use one at a time anyway.
Right.
So I've seen things like that. And so what you'll see is a community kind of build around that. So you got all these people that play that same game together, so they're playing together, right? So you're all out there on the track playing marbles, and you're following this track, and it's basically a physics game. There's nothing you can do to influence your marble. It's all physics, right? It's just random physics. So you just get thrown on this track, and whoever wins wins, and that's it. And so a player may win, the streamer may win, and you gain points. And of course, they break it up into seasons. So every season they reset. Everybody goes back to zero. And I guess you just kind of get more credits, you get more things, you get more nice things, you get more giveaways the more you play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a game that's purpose built for streaming.
Hmm.
And I don't know of any others, but I'm expecting other people to jump on that. And you already
Yeah.
kind of see it because you see these little mini games that people play, not just like gambling, doing like a slots game or something, but other more in-depth games that you can play. Like if somebody's playing Minecraft and if you donate like $1 or something, it throws a creeper on their head. Have you ever seen that? Like you can kind of
Yep.
influence. Some guy
Yeah,
made a
I've
whole
seen
YouTube
stuff like that.
video where he blew like $800 or something just torturing this guy. The
That's
guy made
terrible.
$800. He's sitting there playing a game for a few hours and he made $800.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
guy did nothing but torture him constantly,
Ex-
throwing a bunch of creepers on his head and
Yeah, yeah.
whatever else. So, I mean, whatever. I mean,
Made that stream worth it, that's for sure.
for him, may have paid his rent.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but
yeah.
still, I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Now,
Hmm.
have you ever streamed?
Okay, so let's get into that topic. I have a couple times actually, not regularly. I tried to do a semi regularly thing. Um, Mostly, what I was streaming was playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet when those games were coming out, um, which was fun. I tried to do a few fun little things. Like at the end of a stream, I would say, "Okay, if anybody's in the audience and they want to do a Pokemon battle, let me know, and we'll try to do that." So I actually had a few people take me up on it. So we ended up they crushed me. They were very good, but it was fun. It was like, okay, that was cool. Thanks for joining, guys. So I actually even had a little bit of interaction here and there, but it was not something I could do super regularly. So it wasn't like it ever took off or anything like that. A lot of times, and I'm not sure how you feel about this, MJ, but for me, a lot of times live streaming only really feels like it's really useful or good if you have audience interaction. Otherwise, you're just sitting there talking to yourself while you're playing a game. But at the same time, you have to build up an audience. So I'm wondering if there's other routes that live streamers should take before they just start doing live streaming, is what I'm thinking. So maybe somehow you've built up a reputation in some other form of media. And then it's like, okay, guys, we've been interacting with each other for a while. I'm going to start live streaming. So if you guys want to check it out, support me on that, give me comments. I'm going to be doing it on this day. I feel like that's might be a better avenue than just cold turkey going into streaming. Uh, I'm not saying you can't do it. I think a lot of people have done it that way, but to me, it just sitting there and talking to yourself gets boring pretty quick. You got to be really the kind of person that can entertain themselves to do that. Problem with that is then you're not really focusing or paying attention to chat, and then you don't know if anybody's actually jumped on. Uh, so that's been my feelings. Like it's actually fun, especially, but really it's only fun if you actually have some audience interaction. um, and that's to me what makes live streaming worth it for a live streamer, not just playing a game, but actually having people interact with you while you play a game. So that's my
Yeah,
feelings on it. How about you?
I've done it. It limits what you can play because if you have a really intense game that it just requires your focus, you can't focus on
Yeah,
other people chatting. But if you got some kind of idleish game, or a game that you can
Mhm.
look over occasionally and see what people have said in chat, that's fine.
Mhm.
I know I've watched a lot of people that play The Long Dark, and you kind of
Mhm.
get tips on how to play, and you learn how to play like really, you know, min-maxing type, expert
Mhm.
players, that can really survive, 11,000 days, that kind of thing. So just absolute, monsters at it. And that
That's
that
that's
makes
the game. Okay, just a quick apology there. We had some weird error. Our stream completely stopped. It happened pretty much right at 1 hour. Um, but we are, as far as I can tell, back up and running. Everything seems like it's okay. So MJ, I believe you were basically talking about your experiences with live streaming. You mentioned The Long Dark, and you were about to get into something else. So take it, my friend.
all right. Thank you for setting that up again. The only other thing I'd streamed for a while was I did American Truck Simulator, which I love. That's
Mm.
just eye candy, And it's one of those things where sure you had to pay attention driving, but it's not like you're really driving, right? Sometimes you'd wreck, but you could kind of go back and forth with chat or whatever, and then you could pause the
Mm.
game, of course, at any moment, and then flip back over. But I have seen a lot of people play other types of games. I don't know how they do it. I guess it's sort of a new skill is to be playing a game and also chatting. So I feel like maybe there's a generation growing up that's not only going to be, controller based, but
Mhm.
also they'll have this ability to do multiple things at once.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's becoming that, like
Yeah.
you've got that ability now. That's an extra ability. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I'm not sure. But I
Have
do
you
I do
ever
kind of enjoy the marble game. So
Yeah. Have you ever seen a YouTube slash live streamer named B00?
no.
So most popularly, he is a Minecraft YouTuber, but there was a period he was going through a lot of stuff, and YouTube and making videos was just not something he could do.
Mm,
He talks a little bit about it. Very sad situation. They had uh, if I remember correctly, they had a daughter who died. Um, but for a lot of various reasons, like YouTube just wasn't something he could do. But he started doing a little bit more live streaming. But when you said Truck Simulator, I think he played that game or something like it. But he full on dressed up as like your stereotypical truck driver, big hat, do it, going has like this full rig with a steering wheel and
hmm
everything kind of set up.
Oh
And
yeah, people go all out. Yeah.
the dude is very funny. Um, Love watching him. Like just his YouTube stuff alone is hilarious. But yeah, that I think when someone can do that with live streaming, just add more flair to it. That definitely gets the audience more involved.
I mean, you gotta have the personality to it for it too,
Uh,
right? Like, I don't know though. Sometimes I see a streamer and they're just like whatever, they're just
mm-hmm,
there blowing their time, and I guess they're just gonna spend their time doing this, because that's part of how they like to spend their day, and
mm-hmm,
that's fine too. A lot of people are just at work and they're just idling and they just got something going on in the back window, and that's fine too. And they'll just play some music and sort of like get you through your day, I guess.
right.
So I guess that's what streaming's kind of become. But
Yeah.
then you've got these streamers that's their main income, man.
Mm-hmm.
They pull down thousands a month, and they're just their personality is larger than life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
props to them because I just don't have it. I don't have that personality.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um,
I've
my wife
more
married me for
than
some reason, but it wasn't my personality.
I'm sure it's got a little bit to do.
Maybe I'd have to ask. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure.
It's an odd thing to ask someone. Did you marry me for my personality or
I had never thought about it until now. So maybe
now I'm
maybe I shouldn't
curious.
ask. I'm afraid to
Yeah.
now.
Just be happy knowing that you have a loving wife.
I think I'm not gonna ask.
There you go.
I'm not gonna rock the boat.
There you go.
But yeah, those larger than life personalities, go for it. It's
Mm-hmm.
fun. it's just not me, you know. Like you had that problem of just sitting there in an empty room, and you got to get through that. If you're a streamer, everybody talks about that. It's like, oh yeah, I spent 3 months just sitting in a room by myself. You know, and I'm like, well, how do you do that? Okay, and I did it. I was empty, and
Mm-hmm.
then like 2 or 3 people would sometimes come by.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you also you got to watch. You got to
Mm-hmm.
spend time in other people's channels and watch and look at the games they're playing. And then sometimes you might see something you like, and so then they'll do the same for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll raid into you when they're done. You're on, they're on, and then they end before you do, so they just raid into you because
Mm-hmm.
you're a friend now. So it's almost like you kind of have to build your own team first. Like you were saying, or maybe you YouTube a lot, right? And then starting in your YouTube, you start saying, hey, by the way, YouTube, next month I'm going to start live streaming. So my first live stream is on this date. Come check it out. And then all your people that watch you on YouTube are going to come over and watch you live. So maybe that's an in. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's tough though.
Now, what is your
Streaming's
take?
tough.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Now, are you? I know this, but maybe for the audience, are you the kind of live streamer that shows his face, or he doesn't?
I show my face.
You do. All right.
As hideous as I am, I'll still do it. Um, well, it depends. Like if sometimes I've done art streams where I'm just drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, I don't like it looking at me. I like to look at the table. So
Right.
in those instances, I won't do it. But if I'm just playing a game, I don't mind the camera being on me.
Okay. All right. Because
You know,
there's
there's a lot of JTubers or whatever you call them, VTubers, or
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that like the little graphic there that just
Mm-hmm.
dances along with what you say. Or some people are wired up with it too. They've got like little
Mm-hmm.
things on them that kind of makes the model move when they move. Their avatar.
Sensors. Yeah, yeah.
I
I've done
just
that. I've done something
whatever.
like that before myself. I'm not a huge fan of my face on things like that. But I do think I thought the VTuber thing was an okay option because you can still generally see reaction
Right? I guess you
without
can
showing your
express
face.
some personality through
But
a
it's
drawing, I guess.
I have also seen plenty of people use them, and even the ones that I've played around with, they just don't. They're not. They just don't feel that good. And even the so-called premium ones that you can pay for, they just don't. Yeah, I don't know. Until you get like full-on facial reaction type translation with your avatar. I'm sure there is. I think there is some that do this, but they are extremely expensive. They're way out of most people's price range for something like this. So it's not
Yeah.
really feasible or worth it at this time frame. Maybe in the future they'll develop more stuff and it'll be cheaper, but
And
definitely
this
not
is
right
on
now.
top of smashing gamer rig as well, like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
monster, right?
yeah. You
You
need
got to have
something
that first.
powerful. Yep.
When I did it, I had two computers. I had my laptop that I would do my gaming on, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then I would stream it over to my other computer, and my
Mm-hmm.
other computer would be the stream computer. So
Mm-hmm.
I did it that way. But anyway,
Save resources. No, that's a
it
good
saves
idea.
resources. Yeah,
Yeah.
it made more sense to me, I guess. So I did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anything else about gaming?
I
Streaming?
think I think that was everything I was really thinking of chatting about. Obviously, if anybody in the audience has their experiences with streaming, like do you like to watch it or do you like to do it yourself or do you do both? Let
Did
us
you
know.
did you have that 3 months of talking to yourself that you just got through, or
Yeah,
what? How did you do it? Like,
yeah,
I'm sure streamers would like to know. Other
yeah.
streamers
What?
are trying to break into it.
Yeah. What's been your largest viewer count? That's always fun to talk about, right? Everybody's got something. So yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
I had
kind of
six.
fun.
I think I had six.
Comments. Comments, people, throw them in the
Comments.
comments.
Yeah, and what's easiest to respond to is the comments on that once we upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
That's easy to respond to. However, you can also do the other platforms.
Hmm.
We're on everything. So
Yeah.
speaking of that, we'll wrap it up. You can visit our website if you'd like, mjandbluegaming.card.co, and that's carrd.co. We have all the links there to our socials as well as the email that we've been talking about. So send us some email. Also, that's where we post things like the schedule and whatever else is there. Feel free to send us a message so you can find our email there. Share us what you liked about this episode or what you didn't like. What are your thoughts about what we talked about? Maybe you disagree with something we said. I don't care. That's fine. Well, let us know either way in email or comments. Maybe you'd like. Maybe we will share your thoughts in the future on some
Mhm.
future episode. Did we have a thing we were going to talk about next time?
Next time, well, I know I've said this before, but we might have a guest.
Okay, might
Things
have
have
a
been
guest.
kind of crazy, so but we might be getting a guest on next week.
If we don't have a guest, do we have something?
I don't have anything specifically picked yet, but yeah,
Okay.
we'll definitely we'll have to figure it out.
Well, check out while you're there at our website. You can consider supporting us, and if you feel like, do the buy us a coffee account that goes straight to us. So we appreciate that. That's just a really great way to give us a tip. Every little bit helps us, and we will just spend it all right now, probably on the podcast. We need to get new microphones, new headgear, new setups. Whatever we probably just spend it to upgrade our systems. But there's also a Patreon. We are thinking about the Patreon. So once we're ready to announce that, we'll put that out there as well.
Mhm.
And we're coming up with the tiers and what we're going to do with the tiers and how you can support us. So that's also a great way to do it as well. And we're looking forward to that. We've got ideas floating around. We've thought about maybe a server that we can all play on, that we can play with our listeners on Minecraft or whatever. So we've been thinking about that. So let us know what you think. For now, I have been MJ.
And I'm Blue. Have a good one, everyone.
Good night.